call this presentation the mystical journey because of this aspect of the trek. As we continued to climb up the mountains, it was hard work, and the provincial was a wise man, and he motivated us. And there were times where we couldn't see anything because we were down in a valley, but as we started to climb and we were getting exhausted and some of us were starting to get a little crabby, the provincial inspired us by saying, hey guys, when you climb up into the mountain, you're going to be able to look in the distance and you'll be able to see yaks grazing on the countryside. I didn't even know what a yak was. He said, you'll be able to see the Nepali farmers working in their rice paddies. You'll be able to see the village of Kathmandu gleaming and golden. And there in the distance, you'll see Everest rising above all of the other peaks in all of her snow-capped majesty. Well, that fired our imagination. That fueled us and kept us going. We said that's what we want. But as we went higher and higher into the mountains, we went into the fog. It became a mystical journey. You know what we saw? Absolutely nothing. 360 degrees all the way around, we were locked into the fog. We couldn't see anything. And the provincial continued to keep inspiring us and saying, hey guys, it's going to be worth it. Hang in there for the journey. Don't give away. But we were locked in the fog. And I said, you know, this is an awful lot like my life. This is the life of faith. I keep hearing this gospel of the disciples recognizing Jesus in the breaking of the bread, of his opening the scriptures, of these moments of illumination. But is that what I feel most of the time? Do I feel connected? Is it like I can reach out and grab the Spirit? No, most of the time I feel like I'm walking in the fog. Hello, Lord, where are you? Anybody hear these prayers? You know what I'm talking about. You're calling and it doesn't seem like anybody's there, or you're lost in the fog. I said, this is my life. But one day, about 8 days into the trek, 8 days into the trek, when we were socked into the fog and we couldn't see anything, the wind started to blow. And as the wind blew, it started to move the clouds and to move the mist away. And there, for the first time, things started to come into focus. As the fog lifted and moved away, there in the distance, for the first time, we could see what the provincial had been talking about. There emerged the city of Kathmandu. And there were these yaks. They were like big hairy buffaloes grazing on the countryside. And there were the Nepalese farmers that had built their step farms, and they were laboring in their rice paddies. And there, for the first time in the whole trek, after 8 days, we saw Everest in all her snow-capped majesty, towering over all of the other peaks. And I said, yes, this is why people come from all over the world to go to Nepal. I felt like Peter turning to Jesus and saying, all right, let's build 3 tents. One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. Let's stay right here. This is it. We found it. And the provincial said, okay, guys, let's go down the mountain. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. We just got here. Come on now. And he said, we got miles to go before we sleep. Miles to go before we sleep. And so it was back down the mountain and into the mist. But I had seen it. I knew what he was talking about. And I reflected back and I said, you know, my life is not always walking in the fog. There are those moments of connection. Sometimes it's being with someone I love. For some of you, it may be a moment of the first date with somebody you really care about, or your marriage, or the birth of a child, or even being present at the death of a loved one. of connecting in a really powerful retreat, or being at an exuberant football game where your team wins. Those moments where the fog lifts and the presence of the Spirit is real. Those are the moments that live in imagination and memory, and that's the way that faith works. It's not that God's presence is always palpable. Faith means remembering. Faith means imagining. Faith means continuing on the trek regardless of what we're feeling, because we know where the journey leads.
On a journey together, we can